Is that you're tired because your heart is beating a million times?
Yeah, for Muay Thai, we're doing this heart rate challenge, and it's if you win, you get 3 months free membership. And so I'm trying to win, but these people, I'm in 3rd place right now.
Oh,
What
you
is
win
a
a
heart rate
place.
challenge?
So you wear a heart rate monitor, and then it's just how, like, a percentage of your heart rate. If it's at a certain percentage, you get points for however much that is in minutes. So minutes per that. But you have to get it to
keeping your heart rate in a zone.
So that's like 2 zones that you're trying to hit. One is 3 points, one is 4 points. So I'm like running up hills, doing 3 classes a day, and these 2 guys are like so far ahead of me still. I'm trying to catch them, and I'm just so tired.
By a scale of how far they're ahead of you, it's like they have like 300 points and you have 200 points last time I checked. What's the score?
I'm at 2,500 and they're at like 3,500.
Wow.
Are you using like an app to track this, or do you have to be present with them, or can you do it from home?
It's an app, so
a heart rate monitor.
I just like
because
need
you could
to
strap
like
that. You could take a nap and strap it to your kids and be like, "Go run around."
Yeah, that's a good idea. Tie it to a dog.
That's like against the rules.
Of course, it's against the rules to tie it to your dog.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Smarter and not harder.
Okay,
sometimes
but I have to know that I
keep on hacking.
For me, myself and my brain has to know. I worked as hard as I could, and I won fairly, and I kicked these guys' butts.
And the prize is a month of free membership?
3 months. So it's like $150 times 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a substantial amount. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah. And also, I just want to win the challenge because...
Yeah, you've been in the zone.
If I can't win like amateur fights right now because I'm not doing that, I'm going to win something right now. And this is what I want to win.
She wants to be
competitive.
Yeah. I'm very competitive with this kind of stuff. I like challenges like this. It's like right now it feels like I paced myself well the first week, but this next week I'm going to have to pull out my like ultra marathon mindset / pushing through. I got to use that. I've kept that ace card in my pocket, and not like the last week, maybe the last few days, I'm gonna have to like go crazy. Like
your ultra marathon ace card, has it been in your pocket, you think?
Yeah, I haven't pulled it out yet.
You haven't gotten into like the crazy Jaina that does things that don't make sense?
No, I mean I ran for like 24 hours straight once, and then I
know. Yeah.
And then the other 50K I did, that was like almost 9 hours. No, 8 hours.
Yeah.
Really?
And then the obstacle course race in Ohio was 9 hours, I think.
It's like some David Goggins types.
It really is. Yeah, they traverse the entirety of Zion in 40 hours.
Is that good for you? That's got to be horrible
20.
for your knees. That's got to be
20
bad
hours
for your body, right?
Yeah, we started at 5 in the morning.
It's good for your spirit, bro.
Actually, it was less than 24 hours. We started at 5 in the morning, and we got out there at like 11. So yeah, it was less than 24 hours.
And how did you feel in the days after that?
I drove to Vegas the next day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So she's
and you felt fine?
Yeah, it was fine.
Really? Okay.
I think I do have a good recovery still.
You take creatine?
No, I just don't really drink a lot, smoke a lot, or like I'll drink socially, or like I don't drink coffee. So I try to eat pretty clean. Sugar like once a week I try for. Maybe sometimes it slips into 2. So it's just like yeah, I get fairly good sleep now.
Speaking
maybe I should take creatine and then I'll bust it out.
Speaking of sugar,
it helps with recovery.
What's your favorite Otter Pop?
I forgot about Otter Pops.
Do you remember the characters?
I have such a little mouth that it would like cut the inside of my mouth.
You try to stick the plastic in your mouth?
Yes, I would suck on it and it would like cut the. It would be like these little like.
It's supposed to like stick it to where like there's a sheet of ice sticking out.
I know, but it always popped down.
You cut your
plastic would cut the insides. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever get that?
I do remember that.
You do?
Do you remember Little Orphan Orange? What is her bio?
I just like return of like how good that was, and then the cuts on your lips. I didn't like it.
I do love a good ice pop.
She likes to be
Give me
called
some.
Lil, and she wants you to
Lil?
know that. Yeah, she wants to be called Lil, and she wants you to know that she's not frowning. That's just how she smiles.
I'm
she's on the
wondering
spectrum.
why she doesn't wear a shirt. I'm wondering why.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
She doesn't have
Yeah,
a
that's
shirt
weird.
I like Sir Isaac Lime because
Isaac's just straight up naked.
I resonate with
that.
Sir Isaac.
What is that?
Uh-huh.
A telescope?
He's got a mustache and a telescope, so like he's up to no good. Like whatever
Real
he's
super
doing, it's not
genius.
okay.
Love it.
Yeah.
What's the red one?
The red one is the she's short, right? Strawberry Cookie.
Oh, yeah.
Poncho
Strawberry
Punch was my favorite.
Okay, if there's one I had to go for, it would be the strawberry short one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Poncho Punch. I think that was my favorite flavor back in
He's
the
a
day.
brilliant
That one in the blender.
songwriter.
Oh,
Oh, okay, there we go.
he's cool.
He likes unusual instruments. That's cool.
And he's fully clothed.
And he's you know how to choose him.
Poncho, he can hang. Poncho can hang.
No shirt for
She
your
has no shirt, but she's like aware of it. See?
Yeah.
But she has
Oh.
shoes on.
She wanted to be an actress. That's cool.
I do like how they have these detailed
Bio-
backstories.
Yeah.
Damn, now I want some Otter Pops.
Then you know what you're sucking on.
Yeah. I think Alexander the Grape is kind of a funny one.
What? Major Mango.
Major Mango.
They have new flavors then, huh? Because I don't think they have
I never knew Major Mango.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I did know
the DJ
Alexander
one
the
is
Great.
also new.
Yeah,
DJ.
DJ. There's a DJ that spins. But this is funny because I always thought it was like a historical figure, but it turns out that he's just like this guy in a toga. Where does it say that he wears a toga because it's comfy?
He wears a laurel
Nice.
because he won it in a trivia game.
He won it
Oh
in a
my
trivia game where he knew that fireworks began as a cooking accident.
I like
very
this
specific.
guy.
Even down to like
I
the
like
thing
him.
that he knew.
I like Alexander.
He's good. We wanted to see the DJ. Where did the DJ go?
Yeah, where
DJ
did he go?
Tropicool.
Yeah, that must be a new flavor. I don't think I've ever had that one.
He's an animal on stage,
Nice.
literally, because he's an otter. Yeah.
He's a DJ and a programmer.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
He's a
Live
cool
coder.
It's code for AI that
What?
mixes music into ears.
What did you
All
say?
right.
Yeah, this is all very new. I mean, the
Writes code for
AI is a part of his
that
story.
uses music? Wait, what? This is the Otter Pop who writes AI code?
I feel like this is the reason why you showed this.
I didn't know this was
Now we talked about DevTips or something.
Now
in
it's
development.
relevant.
Yeah.
Now we've
Does it.
mentioned something regarding programming. Yeah.
Oh my
See,
gosh.
there you go, people.
It
All
all
right,
comes
guys.
together.
DJ Tropicool.
Oh wow. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story of something that happened to me this week. It happened yesterday. So, yesterday I was covering my head with a blanket, and I was outdoors in the middle of a big event. Hundreds of people were in a field watching runners run across the field, and I had this blanket on my head because it was made out of wool and it was raining. My son also had a blanket, but his was made out of cotton and it got soaked. So he was under a cotton soaky blanket.
Sounds like an Otter Pop story.
It kind of, I mean, you definitely eat an Otter Pop and listen to it.
Yeah.
So he, he's a very cuddly boy. And so he just snuggled right up under my blanket. Like, and I tried to like not, like, I was like, no, my blanket. And then I was like, okay, come on, get in here, little boy. And it's fun because he's getting toward that age where he won't, crawl on your lap like a dog anymore. Like now he's getting to like when dogs get too big and then they can't fit on your lap, but they think they still can. He's kind of like in that stage. He's a little bit bigger and crawls up on your lap. Just a growing 12-year-old. Anyway, so we were under this blanket and it's raining in the middle of this it was a race. It was a cross-country race, yeah. And there's teams lining up. There's a pistol going off. There's people cheering. There's this big hill, like a big steep hill that we're sitting on, looking down into the races. And my daughter is about to line up for her wave, and Jaina went to hide from the rain in another place, and we
Yeah,
were all kind of like,
you took the blanket all to yourself, so I was like, okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna be like a little awning gremlin and go find.
We had no umbrellas. We had no preparation. We just sometimes do that. We just like did anybody bring a bottle of water? You know, like just totally unprepared. We're out here for 6 hours. Nobody thought about anything. Okay.
Water.
But it was.
You said this is a cross country race that your daughter was participating in?
She's running. Yeah.
Okay.
And she did good. But while we're up there and waiting for the events to start, I'm talking with my son and having fun. And there's this big tree at the bottom of the hill, and it's a pretty steep hill. And I say to him, hey, well, you know, because I didn't want him just hang out. This is like in between rain sessions, right? It's in Hawaii, it's like on and off. So like you can get downpour, and then 30 seconds later, I'm like, is it raining still? You know? Anyway, so I made up a game. Like, hey, run down to the bottom of this hill, like touch the tree like a relay, and then run as fast as you can up the hill, and I will time you. So I have my timer on my phone, and I'm timing him, and he's cutting his time down, you know, each one. I think he got down to like 18 seconds or something like that, from 20 to, 19 to 18. And then he says, now it's your turn. You go, and I'll time you. And I'm like, okay. So I go, and it's been raining. It's a steep hill, and I'm kind of like I'm trying to go quick because I do want to beat him. And then right before I get to the end, my foot slips and I fly through the air and land on my back on this hill. And I don't land on my side or don't land on my hip first. I land flat on my lungs. All of
the air out of you
comes. Oh, yeah.
It's the worst feeling in the world.
Oh, it's so intense. And I think I hear a voice go, "Are you okay?" Like a lady nearby, and I can't say anything. I can't answer. I just like look around and I go,
oh.
Like and I look up at Eames, and he's holding my phone, just laughing.
Wait, did you get it on video?
Well, he was timing me, not video.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And then so I finally pick myself up, and then I tried, when you fall and you stun yourself, you want to get up quickly and brush off and be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
But,
all these people are
I was like
spectating the sport, and you're like
like this, and I'm like, I stand up and I just can't even it really rocked me. And then so I start running up the hill, and I get the time of 34 seconds.
Oh no.
You still finished it? We're timing the whole time?
Good job.
Okay.
And then he was like, you want to go again?
How are you feeling today? You still feel that?
I am so sore, but surfing this morning was a good stretch. It was nice.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah, surfing was good too. I had 3 fishhook positions. Those are my new styles. Did I tell you about
fishhook position?
Okay, so this is my new style. So when you're surfing, when you're starting to surf and learning to surf, you basically just holding onto the board, trying to stand up as much as you can. But you're going to get to a certain level where you feel comfortable. You know what to do. You know how a wave works. You know what it feels like. I can get up most every time I catch, And so now I'm like, once I get up, what do I do? That's the next phase of learning to surf. And my board is not great. It's just a $100 board I got at Costco. It's like a piece of styrofoam. It doesn't like turn well or maneuver at all, but it's still fun and I still enjoy it. But what it does do really well is float. And so I stand on it and I just do all these like poses. And the fishhook is the one where if you feel very confident, you're going along a good while, get as low as you can. So like you got your knees up here, and fishhook, like this. And then I go, like I make a cock-a-doodle-doo noise with the fish.
You're so wild.
That's the fishhook, and so everybody knows.
Max's face.
There's maybe 20 surfers out there. There's a lot of surfers out there this morning.
Are they all enjoying your antics as well?
Yeah, dude.
Are they doing the same stuff?
They gave me a trophy.
Okay.
No, that part's I'm making that up.
Okay.
I got to the beach and they gave me a trophy for best fishhook.
Uh-huh.
Are you getting secondhand embarrassment right now, Max?
What's that?
Secondhand embarrassment.
Oh, just like because Travis does things that are a little bit wild and out there, silly, like slipping,
He's a silly
and
guy.
falling in front of a bunch of people, and fish hooking, going in front of a bunch of people. And like for me, I don't ever like go that far out there, not that wild in like a public setting. So sometimes I get this like, even though I would be entertained and love to see that, Travis, I'm not trying to say anything bad about it. I just feel like if I did that and a bunch of people saw me, I would be embarrassed. Like
the cringe alarm turns on.
I would be embarrassed, but like
Is what you're
the
saying.
fact that no, not cringe. It's just like the fact that Travis can like just go. Like Travis, how do you do that? Like, how do you just like do things and not care what everyone else thinks about it, and be a little bit silly, a little bit wild like that? Like, I'm just curious.
It's a special brand of mental illness.
Which one?
It's the cute one. It's the cute and silly one.
It's the cute, silly one.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that one where they don't? Is it a little bit autism? Okay, I'm not going to go into this right now on the live stream. Well, the ones where like there's no social cues, because like
Asperger's.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Travis has that though.
No, I don't think so either. I don't
What's
think
going
so.
on right now? What is this conversation?
Let's keep talking as if Travis isn't here.
He's right there.
Does Travis have Asperger's?
He's right there.
Yeah.
Travis,
So
I think it's cute and silly, but yeah, I don't know how.
what did I do a cock-a-doodle-doo when I run up to the top of the hill, stuff like that?
Yeah, or fish hookings.
Fish hook is a good style. It's just about style.
Okay.
Is that style?
I think. I think
it's just it's a singular move.
It's a stance. Yeah, it's a.
Oh, okay.
It's a what's it called? Like a signature.
Like hanging 10.
So like if the knees are up, and then you're doing this.
You do a big squat. You get down and pull the fish hook. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do a big squat. So
and are you doing it performatively for people, or are you just alone doing it for yourself in the ocean?
I think he does it for himself, right?
Yeah, I would say like maybe 3 people have seen it, because you have to be going past them, so they have to be around it. But it's big, and even if you're with people, they're like kind of around and everywhere. And usually, if I'm getting pushed by a wave, they're back there, and so the only way you're going to see
it's just for you.
Yeah, it's very rarely you're going to see me do it.
Unless
unless you've caught a wave recently and ended up in the front, and you're paddling back out, and you just see me going by fish hooking. That's the only way you're going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason why this stuff is cute and funny, is because it's for Travis only. It's not like that's why it's not cringe, because he's not like doing a video of it and putting it on Instagram or TikTok. He's just like doing as he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone catches a glimpse of it, then they'll be like, "Ooh, what was that move?"
It was a sincere fish hook. That's what it was.
Nice music devices in the background. Oh, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, we all play with music.
K3 Dev.
Mm-hmm.
They have a
K3 Dev. Do you play with music? What kind of instruments do you mess around with?
Well, if they're able to recognize a few of these,
like
W1 and Ableton push, then they've noodled their way around GarageBand at minimum. Yeah. Did you use GarageBand at all? I still use it all the time.
No, I haven't used it.
That's because you got the Ableton workflow.
Well, I mean, I would use Logic for the majority of my music production.
Is that right?
Career up until about 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 10 years ago. 8 to 10 years ago, I switched from Logic to Ableton. Mainly for performing live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ableton is lit. K3 Dev says they have a Machine Plus.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the
Cool.
micro here. I've had the Plus, but I actually got rid of
machine?
that, and I got the micro. Yeah, these little.
Nice.
Yeah, the Native Instruments machine.
Yeah.
You know these? Yeah, yeah. The pads on this are amazing.
Yeah,
love
people
this
love them because they're very big, right? They're very big and colorful.
Yeah,
compared
it's
to
cool
the
play
MP3
live.
MPC. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really cool live because you got those big colorful pads, and every time you switch a group, the colors are really nice, and the pads are really squishy. Like these, I don't particularly like the pads on this, but this is the Push 2. They got the 3 out now, which I think the pads are a little bit better. These are a little too like hard.
You like them a little
like
soft,
squishy.
like a little
squishy.
Switch your pads.
Yeah. Like when you rub your finger on it, smooth, very smooth.
Yeah, that's how these are. The machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like that too. Like the tactile stuff does matter because it's a part of
a lot to me.
A part of the experience, right?
Totally does.
Wait, do we all have Asperger's? I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
we're all on the spectrum somewhere.
That's why it's called the spectrum. Yeah, everyone's on it, and to some degree. But when it comes to that stuff, I totally am on that spectrum where the tactile thing is very, very important to me. Like even my coasters I got the wool coasters in my living room. And I don't even care about like leaving rings. Oh yeah, here's one right here. I don't even care about leaving rings. I just like the way they feel.
Oh,
I like that. So yeah.
Mine is I like to drink out of glass. Like I don't really like putting my lips to plastic or aluminum or like I'd love glass.
I hate plastic. I hate drinking out of plastic bottles. But drinking something ice cold out of an ice cold can is one of my favorites.
The first 2 or 3 glugs, ice cold, it's like a
carbonated,
Red Bull.
Like where it hurts.
I don't like big I like slightly carbonated.
Really?
Like a Red Bull, or there's that one that's a mate that comes. It even says on the bottle, slightly carbonated. I'm like, that's the one.
Yeah.
It's what is it called? Mate. What is it?
Yerba mate?
Yerba mate.
Oh, yerba mate. Yeah. They got a bunch of those mate sodas in Germany. In Berlin, they have Club Mate, which is very popular there, and it's the same thing. It's like a mate drink that's like lightly carbonated.
Yeah.
And it's very good.
So when you get a can and get like as close to ice cold as you can, pop it. The first 2 glugs, heaven. You're like and I try to make my glugs as big as I can glug them, so that I can just glug them to have a big
You're a glugging guy.
I'm just like I'm in full glug mode.
People do say that about
you. Yeah, I pour my canned stuff into a glass.
Yeah.
And Charles like, why do you do that? I was like, I like to drink out of glass.
But you don't use ice.
No.
Yeah. Ice will hit you in the nose.
I'm a stickler on ice, and I have the big ice cubes. Like I get the big thing, so like
the round ones.
Yeah, I have those.
Like the whiskey kind.
Like whiskey ice, yeah.
You don't make them in an ice tray. You make them in like a rubber mold.
It's a rubber mold, and it's just one big ice chunk that fills up the whole glass.
When you say stickler, what does a stickler for ice mean?
Well, I'm a stickler for good ice. If someone has bad ice, or if you go to a place like in Europe, a lot of Europeans don't put ice. Like if you go to and order a Coke, you'll just get like the Coke with no. You have to ask for ice in a lot of places. Yeah. And when they give it to you, it's like a little bit, and it's like, no, fill the cup up with ice, please.
I'm always very weary of ice because often the ice is not from filtered water, and the ice makes the drink worse.
Yeah.
It can, that's true.
It can taste
the quality of the water needs to. So you're a stickler on ice too. See?
I guess I'm an ice stickler, bro. I didn't really think about it.
So before we went live, you were saying that you had a story.
That was my story.
Oh, that was your story.
The
fish hooking.
No,
the hill.
Getting the wind knocked out of you. Oh, okay.
The wind knocked out of me. Well, I was gonna, and if I had written it, because when you write a story, it's less like a string of events, and because you can inject more thematic, moments and thoughts and things.
Okay. Well, let's try this live. What kind of?
Yeah. What are the themes? I think that
you get the air knocked out of you. You're fish hooking. You had a busy week.
Well, the fish hooking, I wouldn't include it into the story. It doesn't fit really thematically. But I might like make, because my son did ask, do you want to go again? And I did do it, and I got a good time. My tree time was pretty good. So yes, I did.
Did you beat his time?
Yes, sir. And
What was your time?
14, bro. Do you think you could beat my tree time?
Tree time.
And it was a steep hill. You have to like really, really chug a lug to get up there. Anyway, so I was thinking like maybe the ending of the story could be like trying again, even though you had an embarrassing thing.
Why do we fall, Mr. Wayne?
Yes, like something like that. And to get back up. So I was thinking that would be a good way to like have
You're so positive. You're such a positive guy.
Or there could also be a lot of like underlying the closeness of me and Eames, you know, playing a game, cuddling with your son and like at like a football field or whatever that place was, like on a sunny/rainy day. Like it's just like a really, really, you know, nice memory, and that there's a lot of intimacy that can be pulled out there as well as a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just right as I talk about it, it's just a series of events.
Yeah.
That's what life is. Most things, even good stories, are series of events. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the musing about them that.
Do you guys have a story that you tell often?
A story that I tell
about yourself, like it comes up at parties or whatever. I think I know because I have lived with Jana for 20 years. I know her stories. I probably have them too.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like one I tell often. I think the cool thing about meeting new people, like you said, the setting of a party, is that you can just find different types of connections with different types of people. So you're not going to always have the same conversations. Everyone's different.
Yeah, I usually don't tell stories. I don't tell people shit about myself. Like if I meet them,
you're mysterious.
Like, I keep it pretty surface level, but I ask them questions.
Yeah.
I've taken to asking people when I meet them if they consider themselves organized or disorganized.
Oh,
if they're if they're in therapy, if they're diagnosed or self-diagnosed with something, because everybody nowadays, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll go out and I'll meet people. Almost every girl I meet has some kind of bipolar, borderline personality disorder, ADHD, something. They're all in therapy. It's trauma is ruling this whole generation. We're in a generation of psychopaths and narcissists. So I have been making a point when I meet people to I'm like, let me figure out if this person.
Do you do that
quickly?
Do you do that for platonic acquaintances as well? Like if you're
anybody I meet,
you're not interested in.
What
kind of answers do you get when you ask them about being organized and what kind
most
of answers
people consider themselves disorganized.
Really?
Yeah, most people. I mean, most people are like scrolling through Instagram all day. Everybody's attention span is crushed.
Yeah.
Because most people aren't really focusing on it or working on it. And even when you are, like I put forth a lot of effort to like practice mindfulness and meditate, but I actually just deleted Instagram because I like just out of habit I would just open it and I'm like, I gotta stop doing this, and I started just carrying my Kindle around everywhere because then if I'm waiting I just start reading instead of, it's just such a better distraction.
Yeah.
My Kindle fits like right into I have like this Adidas fanny pack thing that I carry around and it fits.
I'm sure it's really cool.
Yeah.
It is. It's
like I'm sure.
Black and gold, baby.
Yeah.
Adidas.
Yeah, you can see it. It's leather.
Yes.
It's got gold. Yeah.
Let's take a look. He's happy to show it. Do you have a story that you're going to share at the today's podcast? Okay.
Actually, I have a hill story too.
A hill story?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because I've been running a lot of them this week.
You have?
Kindle fits in here.
Did
I tell the story that I was running on the hill? That guy. Ooh, this is what you're going out.
That is nice.
Black and gold, baby leather. Yeah.
Adidas.
Yeah, this is the drip right here.
The drip.
It's that drip.
That's it.
Remember when Adidas was all day I dream about?
All day I dream about sex?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, who was it Korn or what
Korn.
band from the 90s made that popular? It was
Yeah,
Korn. It was Korn,
Korn.
right?
They had a song that was just called that.
But what does that actually stand for?
I don't know, but it's funny.
Because I thought that was all.
It's the brand with the 3 stripes. That's like their
Yeah.
tagline, which is funny because they have 3 stripes, but it's just kind of a weird tagline because it's like the brand with the 3 stripes.
Yeah.
Oh, it literally says that.
It's like if Target was like the brand with the bullseye, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if that was their motto.
Does it say the 3 stripe thing? It says that on the bag?
It says it in 3 different languages. Yeah, it says it
in 3. It's translated like the Rosetta Stone.
It's in English, German, and French.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Nice.
Le Mark 3 Bronze. Die Voltare mit de 3 Stripen. Yeah. Isn't that weird? That's like their claim to fame, that they have 3 stripes.
We got those 3 stripes. Well, over in Europe, those 3 stripes are significant, and you see them around quite a lot more than you do over here.
Well, I think they trademarked I think that a lot of it was like other knockoff brands would have like 4 stripes or 2, and they were trying to like knock off, so they kind of were like, no, we're the brand with 3, and I think they have some kind of trademark or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know,
I
but I
like
do love
that.
me some Adidas.
Do you have a tracksuit?
Adidas.
No, I used to. I
Like a
would like
Royal
to get some.
Tenenbaum. Yeah.
Mhm. I love a good tracksuit. I might
yeah.
I might actually switch up my style and go into the
Full
tracksuit
tracky?
phase of my life.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to do that? You guys want to be tracksuit people?
Yeah. We
Get you
got
some Guidos from New York.
When I lived in England, in Liverpool, tracksuits were in for sure.
Mhm.
And they'd call them trackies.
Trekkies.
Yeah.
It's my trackie.
Yeah, for
I
me,
do
it
like-
just came from running. I think my love for Adidas, and it's like I switched from Adidas to Nike, just kind of
Why?
back and forth. I like them both,
Okay.
but I feel like the 3 stripes is always like, I don't know, a little bit more stylish.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
little bit more drippy. It's got that drip.
Yeah,
It
little
does
bit
got
more.
that drip.
it does.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you got like some like all black Air Force Ones, maybe. Like there's
Yeah,
certain
that's cool.
Nike, certain specific kicks from Nike that like, give you that steezo, but Adidas kind of everything from their brand
Yeah.
is
I love me a good samba, and then they just got popular again.
Samba?
Mhm.
Yeah,
The
the
dance?
sambas. No, the shoes, the Adidas
The
shoes.
soccer shoe from Adidas
Oh,
Yeah.
with the rubber toe
and the
Yeah,
3
yeah,
stripes.
and the 3 stripes.
Yeah.
Are we the
those are
podcast
classic.
with the 3
3 stripes.
stripes?
With the podcast with 3 windows.
There we go.
I have a story this week.
Yeah.
Let's hear your story.
On Friday night, I went to see Earl Sweatshirt, which
Damn.
was dope.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Earl Sweatshirt is one of my all-time favorites.
Incredible.
Okay,
And
I'm out of
it's
the
so
loop.
cool to see him here in Lisbon because, it's just cool to see him draw a crowd. I didn't expect it to be such a big crowd.
Is it a big crowd?
It was
Is
a big
it?
crowd, and his live performance was dope. He didn't play any of the hits really. Like I was really hoping for like Sunday, that like just some of the tracks from like his first couple albums. But
Yeah, I like Don't Go Outside. That's
Mhm.
my favorite album.
the second one, I hate everything and I don't go outside or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate
Um,
I hate shit.
Yeah.
Don't go outside.
Can I make a confession? I don't know who this is. Can
You
Earl
don't know Earl
Sweatshirt.
Sweatshirt? Ooh,
That's
you
okay.
better get on
Can-
Spotify.
Yeah,
Better look it up.
it's okay if
Okay.
you're not cultured.
Mhm.
I know.
Sweatshirt culture.
But Chum, his first hit from his first album, that song and that video back in the day was like the best thing I had ever heard, and it was
Was it
better
going
than
through the
like-
house?
What's that?
When he's walking through the house for Chum? Was it?
Yeah, well, he's outside. He's like, pick myself up off the pavement, roasted dirt off of my psyche. You know that song?
Mm-hmm.
The video's dope. But I was really hoping he would play that song. It's my favorite song. But he didn't play it. But I'm sure he's probably sick of playing those. So he was like, I mean that song came out, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago or longer, maybe more,
Yeah.
20 years. I don't know. And it's crazy because I never really saw pictures of him since then. And then I saw him on stage. I'm like, oh, he's old now. He's like,
Oh yeah, he's a
it's
dad.
oh,
He's like a dude.
he's
yeah.
like in his 30s, I think.
Yeah.
He was like in his, I think 16 or 17 when that shit dropped.
Yeah, he was 16 when exactly.
He was young. Yeah. But the show was dope. But the sound was okay. But the air ventilation, like it was really hot in there, and people were packed in. And like I'm not the kind of guy, like I don't like being. I stayed like outside of the venue because you can still see the stage and hear everything. But like I don't like being crammed in like with people. But like every couple of seconds they were carrying people out because people were just like passing out.
Oh,
And I'm sure they were fucked up, but I think
Yeah.
it was also mainly just the heat, like because people were so crammed and like they were just carrying people out, and a couple people they were
Yikes.
carrying were just like throwing up as they were carrying.
Oh
them
no.
out. Like it was there were quite a few people that didn't know how to hold their shit down.
wow.
And, which was kind of disappointing, but
Party hardy. Wow.
yeah, some
That's a
people can't
bummer.
handle this shit.
We saw a
And
kid.
it was very hot.
We saw some runners were passing out. One of them, we saw this young person. It was so intense. They put her in the cold pool. They had an ambulance come. She must have had, Jana, you were saying heat stroke maybe?
Mhm.
so intense. Yeah, like if you don't take care of yourself, you can get overheated pretty quickly, whether it's in a concert or otherwise.
Yeah, I've never liked that. Like, it seems, I don't get the mentality to want to get as close to the speakers and get crammed in and get as close to the stage as possible. I never understood that. And,
Oh, really? Even as like
yeah.
a teenager, when we go to shows and like
Even as a teenager, I
you
hated that.
You didn't try to go to the front?
Ew, no.
Really? Ew, no.
Yeah.
You know,
why?
he says.
I would almost every girl I ever dated and went to a concert with, they were like, we got to get up front, and they want to get up, and I'm like, and I would be like, all right, and I'd obviously go with them, but I would hate it.
DJ Tropicool says you need to go to the front to have the best experience.
When I was a teenager, I liked going to the front because I could see them playing the instruments, and also I just kind of felt the music more in my body.
Yeah.
But it was annoying to get like constantly pushed up, push. Like
I hate being close to people.
the squishing
like
part, yeah.
Yeah,
but
and the loud. It's too. I never liked loud shit. Like I remember driving around with my friends, and they would have the music up so loud, and I'd be like, why? What's the point of this? Turn it down. Let's.
Yeah.
I've always been a relax. I like to relax. I don't
you like a nice volume.
Yeah, like a reasonable.
Yeah.
I've always been an old man. Yeah. Even
but
when I was a young kid.
now, yeah, I feel like I do like more. Like I'd like to be maybe in the middle somewhere, like close enough to see and feel it and hear it, but like enough room to dance a little bit more, because then you're not just constantly being pushed up against. Yeah.
I like to be behind the edge of the crowd, because you know how they're like everyone's packed in, and then there's always kind of like an edge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, where it starts dispersing. I like to be behind that.
Nice.
Chilling.
Chilling.
Yeah, they got all the room you want.
Yeah, you can sit on the ground, stretch out. I remember at like Vegas and Coachella and stuff, it was so nice to just sit in the back, because you can sit on the ground, you're not crammed up, and you can see the stage better, you can hear everything.
Staying in the big festivals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched a few like that. And they're not bad, especially like if you're tired that day. You're finding people. And dude, in those big crowds, you in festivals specifically, you often have like these weird instances where people who are fans of other artists are taking up space right in the front of the concert that you want to see. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're like sitting through it to make sure they're up front for the next.
Yeah, we saw a few shows where the people directly in front of us are just sitting on the floor with umbrellas, trying to hide from the sun. Camping out, yeah. Man.
Yeah, those were Blackpink fans, right?
Blackpink did that quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
People with like bands that have these like really intense fandoms. Take that.
Yeah,
back.
not a fan.
I'm a big fandom. So tell me your story this week. Who had a story?
Who are you talking to?
I think you both have a story, right?
Well, I just told you about going to see Earl Sweatshirt.
That's the story.
And like 8 people being pulled out who were like passing out. And
oh no.
Yeah. Earl.
Yeah, the show was good though. Sound was
so good.
Not great, but it was still cool to see him live and see him pull like a pretty big crowd here.
Yeah, nice.
That's awesome. Is it outdoor?
No, it was indoor.
Indoor? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there was not good air ventilation in there. It was like, which is why people were getting fucked up and passing out.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, now I have someone to look up on Spotify. So.
Earl Sweatshirt.
Earl Sweatshirt. I probably have heard there's like songs of his, right?
I don't think so. I mean, you've heard of Tyler. You've heard of Tyler the Creator. Tyler Creator, he's the one that put Earl up back in the day. Like he was part of Odd Future, like their whole
and Frank
label.
Ocean. Yeah, like
Frank Ocean got on one of his tracks on that track Sunday.
He was on Pretty Rich Kids. Frank Ocean. Yeah. But he's not. But even like he's like the rapper that rappers like to like, so that they can show that they like good music. You know, he's very His flow is so.
There's like a refinement to him.
Yeah, it's kind of almost not good, if you know what I mean.
Sometimes
especially,
it's not.
Especially in his later years, he does that on purpose. Like I read an interview. He was like saying like he's like I purposely try to flow in different ways so that people are not getting what they expected, or I don't know what his whole thing was.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What was your story, Jana?
It's
happened
just a
this week?
short one. So I've been running a lot of hills, and I sometimes get emotional about things. And
About hills?
well, so I was running up this hill, and it was just a really beautiful morning, and it was very sunny. There was wind coming
Today
through.
or yesterday?
This was Monday.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm running up the hill. It's very beautiful. Sun feels just like the perfect temperature, and the breeze is coming through. But then I see this cute, tiny little dead mouse on the ground. And it was just like so cute. And I kind of just got sad about it and overly emotional about it in a really weird way. And I was like, why am I so sad about this mouse being dead that I just saw? And so like I ran up to the top, and then I came back down, and I had to see it from like a different angle, and I was still sad. And then I was like, I think I'm just sad because like I'm enjoying this life right now so much, and it's like obviously it's not. And then I like reminded myself too. I was like, okay, that cute little mouse that I saw that I'm like really feeling some empathy for, or like very sad about right now, like those are the mice that like chip away at our foundation and come eat our food. That we've had to like get pest control for.
Yeah.
And then so I kept running consecutive days on that same route, and then I just like watching it decay and like even more sad. I'm like, oh, it's dying.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, it was just like this contrast of life, I guess, that struck me. Yeah.
And then you keep on running into it at like intervals and like checking in and seeing how many ants.
The past couple of days I've run a different route, so I haven't seen its skeleton yet.
You haven't said hello to your friend?
Oh, it's probably gone by now.
It's probably a skeleton or dust. Yeah.
Nah, another animal picked that up already.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, those bodies don't stick around for too long like that, I don't think. I would be surprised if it would be in the same spot.
Yeah, so that's my story.
I like your story. What's the theme of your story? Like, what's the character arc?
Well, it's just, like I guess in the beginning I was really sad that it wasn't enjoying life anymore. But then I came back down and saw it from a different angle, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, we actually pay someone to kill you. And then it was just weird, like, contrast.
Oh, yeah, you're the enemy.
Yeah. Like, when it comes down to, like, you, like, leaving bacterial stuff around our house and, like, making it unsafe for my children, of course I'm going to choose my children over this cute little mouse. But, like, it was just so cute and sad that it was.
That's kind of reminds me of, remember when we lived in Utah and there was that squirrel that kept on getting into the house?
I don't want to talk about that one.
The squirrel.
We fed it blueberries.
I forgot about.
Friends with the squirrel?
There was a squirrel like in our house, whatever, and we got it with a no-kill trap. So it's just like this cage. It goes in there and falls down.
Yeah. Your dad wanted that, right? Like.
They just had it. It was just the tool that they used. I don't know. And so I grabbed this squirrel in a cage and drove it like maybe 2 miles out into a dirt road and just let it go because I didn't want it to die. And it came back. It like followed. I don't know. It like
you have to go 10 miles or more, I think, for that.
Is that right?
Sure it was the same squirrel?
Yeah. They find their way back.
Yeah, they're like homing is built into their bushy tails. Yeah. And so anyway, we caught him again in the same trap, dumb squirrel. And by that time, my dad came into town, and he was like, let's go shoot it. I was like, what? And so we went out and drove out in the morning. And I put up this cage on this hill. We're out in the middle of the desert, and my dad pulls out his rifle and I was just like looking at the squirrel because I knew it was gonna get. It's so grim, isn't it? Because I knew it was gonna get shot, and I was looking at it, and I was just like, kind of what I wanted to watch it not be alive. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to see the change. It was pretty wild.
It's interesting. Like that.
Watch its little life leave its little eyes.
It was just it happened. It just laid down. The gun goes off. Gun goes off. Squirrel is down. That's it.
Just went to
Aw.
sleep. Well, I think that's a more humane way of killing it than letting it like be in a cage and starving to death, or like
Yeah, that's gross.
or being in the heat and just cooking or something, you know?
Ugh.
Yeah, that's the most
Yeah.
humane.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
shooting it or
Very quick.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy that we don't
Have you ever killed an animal, Max? Like hunting?
No, I've never been hunting.
Never been hunting?
I was never the kind of kid that like there were some kids that would like throw rocks at cats or something or at birds. I never liked any of that. I never did any of that.
No, that's weird.
Yeah, I was never into it.
Psychos.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think I've ever
killed a
hurt
snake
an
and ate
animal.
it. What?
I don't think I've ever killed an animal either.
I killed a few. I killed a bird once. I hit one with my car.
That's
And it
because
was-
you grew up with a cowboy as a dad.
Yeah, he's a cowboy for sure. He so when I first learned to drive, I was driving an 82 Camry. It was a piece of dump. It was nasty.
A to B.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like if I could get to my destination without the engine light going off, I was like, "Hey, today's a good day." Anyhow, so I also noticed that like no matter what, the pigeons would just get out of the way. You're driving down the road, and then you're like driving, and you're like, "I'm gonna hit a bunch of pigeons," and then they all just kind of like barely, fly over your windshield, like in just this way. And I'm like,
because we have an agreement with the pigeons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they get out of the way.
Skilled. They know how fast they're going. Like this is just. I was like, this is uncanny. Like a cat falling on its feet, And so I was like, one day I was just like put the pedal to the metal, and I saw a bunch of pigeons, and then it was just like thump thump thump. I was like, whoa, pigeons! You got to work with me here.
Like George Costanza. Yeah, there's an episode of Seinfeld where George runs over the pigeons, and he's like, "We had an agreement. They're supposed to be out of the way." This girl gets mad at him. She's like, because she thinks he did it on purpose.
Did this? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I love Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think. I've never done anything like that.
I shot a bird off of a telephone wire once with a BB gun.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was really intense for me.
I would feel too bad.
Did
Yeah,
it
I
die?
sat there with because there was a scope on the rifle that I was using, and I sat there for a very long time, just like toying with this bird's life, balanced like with myself, like, well, should I do this? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
The power you must have felt.
Yeah.
It was a lot of hesitation, more than power or anything like that. It was more like hesitation, like I'm just gonna pull this trigger, like it was that. This bird was on the wire in the backyard. I shot it off. It fell down on the ground. Yeah, it was dead. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Yeah, I did when I saw it.
Or did you feel like God must feel when he shoots a bird with a gun?
When he smites his children.
Smite a bird. Pigeon smiter.
Yeah, I've always liked animals more than people.
I did feel very bad after I shot it. And animals versus people, that's an interesting one.
But we are animals, though.
Whoa.
We are. We
Check
are.
You don't like this breed.
Non-human. Yeah, I've always favored the non-humans.
Do you ever think of us as animals? Like really like animal?
It's funny because when someone asked me my favorite animal, I was like, humans.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's kind
I
of
was talking to I was talking about cognitive behavioral therapy to somebody, and they're like, no, and this person is a psychologist, like a trained psychologist.
Is this when you just first met them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was joking.
You organized.
And they weren't organized, they were very disorganized. But they were like, oh yeah, we don't believe in that because humans aren't animals. And I was like, yeah, they are. Humans are
Are they a
100%
vegetable or
animals
mineral?
and
Dumbass.
trainable. But this person was just hating on it because they needed to be in cognitive behavioral therapy, and they were just justifying not doing the right work to fix their behavior.
You can use CBT to train an animal. Like
Yeah.
it's all about behavioral therapy. So like
Yeah.
that's
It's just behavioral modification. Yeah.
That's right.
Systems reward and punishments. And
so it's weird that they had that hang up because it doesn't make CBT untrue.
No, and CBT is super effective. And there's another one which is called, I think, dialectic behavioral therapy, which is essentially CBD or CBT, but it's with the addition of like yoga and mindfulness meditation. There's like an emphasis on mindfulness, I think. Yeah. I think those are kind of the most powerful mechanisms, I think. I mean, all we have in the end are our thoughts and behaviors and actions. And if you can modify the behavior, often people say like, oh, I'll do a thing when I feel ready. I'll write when I'm inspired. Yeah. And it's like, no. You modify the behavior and then the feeling follows.
That's
people
true.
think that they have to wait for the feeling for the behavior to happen. But we're biomechanical systems that, if you change the system and the environment, then the inside
there's a response.
Suit.
Yeah. That's a really good principle to remember. Like sometimes I think like, oh, I don't feel right. I don't feel like I'm in that creative space, that cozy space where things are flowing, and so I'll like put it off, whatever the task is, like writing or that creative project. But it's not about that. It's like if I sat down and started and like forced it,
if you
then
just forced to do. This is something that I've kind of been failing at in the last week, but it is like you don't feel like working, you don't feel like programming, or you don't feel like creating, and it's like if just set a 10-minute timer, or 5 minutes. Try to do it for 5 minutes, and before you know it, you're half an hour passes. Like it's just getting over that hump, that initial hump of getting yourself to do it. Which have you guys read The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield? No?
I've read
I'm aware of it.
War.
By Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
Yeah, The War of Art is by Stephen Pressfield, and it is it pretty much is about like the concept of resistance and about like, how the muse doesn't visit you, you visit the muse. Like you have to sit down and just set a timer for 10 minutes. As long as you get yourself to do that, you produce. Because once it's just getting over that hump of it's so weird that there is this kind of like mental weight to starting a task.
Yes.
And I feel like everybody feels this. We were talking about this before. Like, everybody in the world right now, as comfy and luxury as we are, luxurious as our lives are, right? Like we have more and live in more comfort and luxury than any of the kings and queens that came before us. Right? I mean, we have insane comforts of modern life, but everybody's anxious and traumatized and all this kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And if the thought of a thing often feels heavier than just the thing. If you just do it, it's like, oh, it's like people spend more time avoiding a task or feeling nervous or anxious about it than just doing it.
Yes.
And then once you just do it, often you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. That was easy. But
yeah, I heard an interview with. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
No, go ahead.
You think
I think that we are all so comfortable that we're all lazy. Yeah. With comfort comes laziness, and then with laziness comes excuses. And it's a really good excuse to be stressed out about a thing. Going back to Seinfeld, right? Like George, to make it look like he was busy, he would act stressed out, and he wouldn't have to do any work, right? He's like, yeah, you just look stressed out. People come by my office, and I'm like, and it looks like you're busy and stressed out, but then but people get themselves stressed out to avoid just doing the thing.
Oh yeah.
And they it's a weird psychological trick we do to ourselves because we give ourselves anxiety to avoid doing a thing where it's like, just do it.
Yeah.
And what was the quote that you said? I think it was
Captain Bezos.
Bezos said,
I've been loving this quote lately.
Remind us what that quote is again?
It was something along the lines of, you are only stressed out when you have a thing that you can take action on, but you're not doing it. Stress out comes from not taking action when you can.
Yeah. But I think a lot of that stress is, I don't know, it becomes an excuse to procrastinate.
It's avoidance.
I'm super guilty of this.
Yeah, you procrastinate something, that thing is the thing you're stressed out about, and you are actively making it worse by procrastinating on it.
Yeah.
Or externalizing the responsibility of it.
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick example. My son I asked him to empty the dishwasher, and suddenly he decides that he wants to make some like sushi rice. And then so he tells his sister, "Hey, will you make some sushi rice? I'm doing this, unloading the dishwasher."
Oh, nice. Delegating at a young age.
Yeah, and she goes, "No." and he goes, "Dad, will you do sushi rice?" And I've already sat down and I'm playing a song. He's like interrupting me mid-song, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Can you make sushi rice?" And I'm like, I am playing an instrument right now. Like right now, I'm playing an instrument. It's like, I was like, after you're done emptying the dishwasher, just make sushi rice. It takes 20 seconds, to turn the machine on. And it was like hard for him to kind of like be okay with taking responsibility for both things at once.
Yeah.
Like I'll do
and also
putting
delaying the gratification of the thing that he wants for the thing that he has to do first. And that's
it was tough.
Funny,
it was very tough for him. I watched him struggle with it a lot. Yeah.
That's some of the best lessons people can learn at a young age, because most adults struggle with that. Like they put off what they want to do, and then they get anxious, or what they have to do, and then they get anxious about it. So they fix that anxiety, not by doing the task, but by doing something that gives them immediate gratification. Like, oh, I'll have a snack, I'll eat, I'll overeat, I'll medicate myself, I'll do this other thing, and just avoid the task and do all of this other stuff to essentially turn their life into a disorganized, stressful mess, and mainly to procrastinate and to avoid something that could have been done pretty simply. And I'm guilty of this all the time, but that is the thing. Like I often find myself like, okay, I have to do this thing, and I'm like, well, don't think about it, because that gets you stressed out. Just set a timer for 10 minutes and just sit down and do 10 minutes. And once I do that, once you get over that hump and you're in the thing, it's like, okay, well, now I'm in it. Now it's
now I don't want to stop. Yeah.
Now you're in the flow state.
Yeah. That's this. I think the secret trick is to just set, even 1 minute. If you're like, there's so many people that, wish they wrote more. Oh, I used to write and I want to write more. And it's like, well, set a timer for 1 minute. Try to do it for 1 minute. Same thing with exercise. It's like, try to do one push-up.
Yeah.
No, but you can't, and that's my thing. Like I got myself on a really good regimen of working out every day, because I'm like, okay, I want to do like a 7-minute workout. Like if I say I don't have 7 minutes, I'm lying to myself. Everybody in the world, if they're like, I can't do 7 minutes, they're lying to themselves, and they know it, right?
Like how long have you been scrolling on your phone?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
7 minutes.
And then you just kind of build it up. And now, I do consistently 30 to 40 minutes a day. And even that, it's like, I can't not do it, because I can't lie to myself and be like, oh, I don't have the 40 minutes or I don't have the 30 minutes. Like, yeah, you do. Just do it. Yeah. But yeah, starting with those little increments, just do 10 minutes of a thing that you need to do or want to do. And before you know it, you'll be doing it.
You're doing
for like an hour.
Peter.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes about meditation is, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you don't have 20 minutes. And like one of my favorite quotes is, if you think you don't have 20 minutes a day to meditate, then you should be meditating for an hour a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Because your mind's broken. You think you don't have, because you're being crazy. I was thinking about how we do like these delayed, like when we're not comfortable, we get like really anxious, and we have something to do, we get anxious about that, and so we comfort ourselves by like eating a snack or
avoiding
ourselves, scrolling or whatever it is. Yeah, like avoidance, and like that, you can trace that and say like, oh yes, I can see the the prehistoric like tendencies there: survival, safety, comfort, right? Like I can see that, and then it just so happens that I'm in a modern world that these things are very easy to come by. Safety, comfort, distraction, very easy to come by. But my programming comes from a time when it was not easy to come by. The world was just full of sharp rocks, and that's kind of it, and no internet. And so now we're in this kind of era where comfort, distraction, these things are very easy to come by. So we're all kind of struggling with it. But I was wondering, like, if there's going to be like an era in the future where like maybe our physiology evolves or something like that, and we're adapted to an easier life, and so that we can thrive in it and like not overeat and not get over stressed by simple things or things like that. I don't know. I was just thinking about that.
Well, I think unfortunately that's never going to happen. As long as, but more and more, I mean, if you look at like the rise of the popularity of meditation and yoga, there's always going to be groups of people, like swaths of demographics that find that, you know, that are able to thrive and are able to limit their social media use and delay gratification. But I think the majority of people, going back to what we were saying, we are animals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I think that's the thing, is to spend more time out on the sharp rocks, you know, go out and be an animal sometimes.
Yeah. I think we talked about the Rat City, cocaine Rat City.
Yeah.
before.
Was that like live
Rat City.
grab life by the, what was it that we were saying? Oh, raw dog
Raw
life.
dog Yeah, the Rat City experiment, though, they gave rats cocaine and the rats just did it until they died.
Yeah.
But then, like, decades later, they redid the experiment, but instead of just giving them cocaine in captivity, they gave them, like, activities and social, you know, let them socialize. And the rats, like, didn't really fuck with it. Like, they just, you know, and I think that that's a thing, like, healthy. It's okay to have distractions, but I think people, or, you know, maybe I should just speak for myself. I try to be more mindful about having healthy distractions.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to, like, not even notice when you slip into unhealthy behavior, unhealthy distractions, unhealthy, like, self-soothing behavior, and you don't even really notice it. It's really easy to slip into that, like, oh, I'll just maybe lay in bed and watch a movie because I don't have to do anything today. I can put off and there's this new movie that I wanted to watch, and it's like, you know, it's,
but that's like being celebrated too, right? Bed rotting and all that.
Yeah.
Celebrated is interesting because also, like, acknowledging something, because I mean bed rot was around before Gen Z started labeling it, but
is like, this is a new thing, bed rotting?
It's just like what it means, because like you've experienced it without knowing like what the name of it was. You know, just lying in bed watching a Netflix for like way too long. You know, not getting out, like looking at the time and being like, oh, I should have made myself a meal 3 hours ago. You know,
that's just called being lazy.
Yeah. They call it bed rotting.
Yeah, they call it bed rotting, but it's like a self-care kind of thing, I think.
They want to bed rot, like they are saying it's good.
It's like you kind of own it, the fact that you bed rot.
Yeah.
It can be. To be honest, my back is fucked up. And I got like a herniated disc in my back or something, and it's been in so much pain. And like I was still pushing myself every day to like work out, do yoga, and try to work through it, and it was getting worse. And I was like, oh, you know what? I was like reading about it, and it's like, oh no, you have to like rest for a little while.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I actually need to kind of lay in bed and allow myself to be lazy and allow myself to heal.
That's true for any.
I think it can come in handy depending on the situation.
You need recovery and rest too.
Yeah.
Rest is a part of exercise. Like
not to always be going. That's why I'm feeling so messed up today. I'm so sorry.
You've been hitting this heart competition that she's on, heartbeat competition. She's
just like no rest day, no recovery.
Are you having a rest day today?
No, I already ran.
You already ran?
Yeah.
4.5 miles?
No, or an hour and a half.
An hour and a half. Oh, wow.
Like hills, and I need to do something. Like,
you're going to take the rest of the day to rest at least, right?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do any heart rate stuff more.
We were planning on going after this.
I need to strategize because I'm like falling asleep when I shouldn't be. I'm like, I got good
Sunday.
sleep.
God's day. I think that is important too, though. I think, you know, we kind of structured our calendars, and I guess it was like a religious thing, but it is kind of a spiritual thing to have like a day a week where you don't do anything. I think, what do the Jewish people call it? They call it something,
Sabbath?
Or maybe it's on one of the holidays, something where they're not allowed to eat until sundown, and they can't use their phones, they can't use technology or something for one of the holidays.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that. It's like, have a day where you You do
most religions have like this kind of like self like kind of like a built-in detox thing.
Like fasting.
The Passover or Ramadan or Christians have Lent, just like the part where you're like denying your impulses, getting closer to self-mastery just a little bit. I think it's a true principle.
A couple times a year, like for an extended period, but every week we should have reverence for Sunday, whether you're religious or not. You should have reverence for it and tell the world to fuck off, and like also tell yourself to fuck off, like kind of like make yourself rest.
Yeah.
You know?
When I was a kid,
what's that?
When I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to go outside on Sunday.
You weren't allowed to go outside?
I couldn't like go outside to play.
Which is funny because I feel like Travis, because of that upbringing, if you have a hard time resting and relaxing, it's like work or bee. Like the weekends we get more stuff done, and like,
Sunday was
we're all kind of like the kids and I are chilling and relaxing, and then we're like, what are you guys gonna do for the whole day? And we're just relaxing. And like, what's on your to-do list? Like, relax.
To relax.
That's to me. I'm like,
do nothing.
But what's on your to-do list?
Yeah, it's like it's very hard for you, huh? To like see other people, see us relaxing.
Yeah. But
I used to be very bad at that.
Yeah? What changed?
Honestly, when I was in my early 20s, a girl I dated, she was very lazy. But I learned how to be lazy with her. And I was like, I learned the value of that a little bit. But even still, like, I still have to force myself. Like, I think a lot of people, and I, again, I should just speak for myself. I put too much pressure on myself. And it is that pressure that almost like can kind of make you stand still and not get stuff done in a weird way, like putting all of that pressure. And it is, I do need to be more like, pick a day where I'm intentionally doing nothing instead of spreading that out where it's like, I'm putting pressure on myself to do stuff all the time, and then you get into this place where you do kind of get overwhelmed or anxious, and you end up getting less done. And it's like, why don't I just pick a day where I do nothing, and then, or a couple days. And I think, we used to have that one day a week, but we are kind of entering a phase of the world where people don't want to work. People are realizing post-COVID, and we talked about this before, that like, we don't have to work as much to survive. We don't have to be grinding all the time, like I'd like to get to a place where I'm hustling and grinding for like 4 days and then I'm chilling for 3.
Nice.
But that's a difficult thing to do because I've always feel like I have to be doing something.
Yeah, there's like the FOMO of like, there's 3 days there where my projects are not going to get done, my goals are not going to be met, I'm going to get behind because everybody else is working 7 days a week.
Yeah, and there's that quote. I mean, it depends on what field you're in and how competitive you are. Because there's that quote like, while you're sleeping, I'm practicing. Or no, while you're sleeping, your enemy is practicing, and when you meet in battle, they'll defeat you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's true.
But, I mean, again, life isn't that fucking serious. Why so serious?
Yeah.
Like, that is the thing. It's like, if I work 4 days, then I take 3 days to chill. I'm going to get behind, or other people are going to get ahead. There's a point where I think a lot of people in the world, and I think this Gen Z bed rotting and Sigma type bullshit, that is the next generation of culture realizing, like, who gives a shit if some guy gets ahead? Who gives a shit if he... we don't need as much, and we don't need as much to be happy. We don't need as much to survive. And I think that's where a lot of that sentiment comes from, like having that ownership over the bed rot. Like, I'm choosing to do this because who gives a shit if some other person does something else or whatever? That's their life.
Yeah.
It's not mine.
True. I wonder how many in my challenge, like the top 3, if we're all millennials.
In your heartbeat challenge?
Yeah, probably are.
They're all like, motivated.
We're all millennials.
But we're millennials, aren't we?
Yeah, we're millennials.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're the ones that were taught to like do overtime, like
They're
work around the clock.
10-hour days.
Yeah.
Oh,
5
yeah.
days a week. You gotta work on the weekends, be productive, grind, hustle and grind
Hustle
mindset.
culture,
Yeah.
The grind
Although
set.
when you are in that mindset, it does feel good when you got that
Yeah,
hustle and
yeah.
grind, when you're inspired to do a thing that's business.
It's purpose. It gives you purpose.
Yeah.
Good shot in the arm of purpose, and you feel good when you have purpose.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for the podcast today.
Woo!
We did it.
Fun conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to hang out in the green room a little bit after this, but thanks for everybody for joining in for our conversations, our hangout sessions on Sunday, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Cool. Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, everybody.
Thank you.